Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, episodes 7 and 8, I believe? Let me just make sure. Yeah, 7 and 8. Okay, so we're back with another 2 episodes. Last time we got 2 more princesses on board with the Alliance, Mermista and Entrapta. So, what's going to happen next, I wonder? I would assume more princesses. I know there's more that we haven't met yet, and I think there's a couple that were shown very briefly in the throne room, or the meeting room, I guess, whatever, but weren't really expanded upon, so I'm interested to see where they go with that. Otherwise, I don't really know. That's the big ongoing plot right now. We'll just have to see. Now, I do have to get through these. I do have to do Loud House as well, so I'm going to get right into this. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episodes. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we will begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so yeah, some really, really good episodes here. So in our first one, Bo and Glimmer take Adora to Mysticor, this hidden land of sorcerers where Glimmer's aunt resides. And while there, Adora's trying to kind of get over like this almost PTSD like fear she has of Shadow Weaver and just everything that happened. And she's being haunted by Shadow Weaver's shadow the entire time, because Shadow Weaver sent out her shadow basically to just fuck with Adora and try to get her to come back to them. So Adora's kind of going through some shit. While there, Glimmer and Bo are trying to get her to relax, but nothing's working. And eventually they find out that Adora's telling the truth, and that Shadow Weaver's shadow is actually there. And in the end, she manages to stop it, and kind of put Shadow Weaver under for a little bit. It seems like Shadow Weaver was knocked completely unconscious. And in the meanwhile, we get Catra, who takes advantage of the situation, and comes to realize that the best way to defeat Adora and get and just do everything they're trying to do is to go for her friends instead. So that leads into the next episode. So here we have the Princess Prom. Now this is something that I have heard about before, as I mentioned in the reaction. I didn't know all the details about it before. I just had heard that people apparently really like this one. For a lot of different reasons. And I feel like one of them's probably the entire dancing stuff between Catra and Adora, because that's the big ship from this show. Even though I ship Adora more with Glimmer, I can still accept the idea of the Adora-Catra ship. It still works. And yeah, there's a lot of other fun stuff as well, like Bo going to the prom with Perfuma. We get to meet another new princess with Princess Frosta, I think it was. By the way, I did look up her voice actress. I don't know who it is. Yeah, it's not someone I know. But yeah, it's just a lot of stuff going on in this one. But the big thing to take away from it is that they go to the Princess Prom, but Catra and Scorpia go as well, because it turns out Scorpia's also a princess, which is interesting, because apparently the Horde raided Scorpia's kingdom, and her parents, I guess, the king and queen, just kind of went along with it. They just like, yeah, okay, we surrender. Basically didn't even give a fight. And so their kingdom is working for the Horde directly. So that is how Princess Scorpia became a Force captain, because she's a legitimate princess, but instead of being kidnapped like Adora was, and Adora I know isn't like an actual princess as Adora necessarily. She's a princess as She-Ra specifically. She-Ra is the warrior princess or whatever. But either way, we have, instead of being kidnapped and raised by the Horde, she was just basically brought into it. Which also explains why she's so nice. Like, Adora and Catra were warriors, and Adora's only become nicer and more positive since leaving the Horde and stuff. And I mean, they've been nice to each other and stuff, but they're definitely, it's not quite the same. Because, yeah, I'll be honest, Scorpia just doesn't feel like she fits in with the Horde. She's so bubbly and nice and happy and silly and adorable. And it's just like, how are you a bad guy? So that's interesting to me. But in the end, while there, Scorpia and Catra do start this big ol' plan going, and they have a couple others from the group with them, from the Horde. And the main thing they seem to do is they set off a bunch of heat bombs, which causes all this destruction and panic. And in the destruction and panic, they kidnap Bo and Glimmer. And they get away with it. That's the thing. They succeed. And it kind of makes me think, this, like, when Catra started devising this plan after Shadow Weaver is knocked out and all, she had this kind of attitude to her where she was like, this is how it's going to get done. This is going to work. My plan is going to work. Your plans kept failing over and over again. It's time for me to take control. And she was right. Let's be honest. Her plan worked. Honestly, it went flawlessly. They captured Adora's two biggest friends. They got away. They caused all of this destruction. They succeeded in every aspect. And this was, once again, Catra's plan. It wasn't her following Shadow Weaver's plan. It wasn't anything having to do with Lord Hordak. It was Catra's plan. So, that kind of raises a big question. It's like, if Catra, this just ordinary Horde soldier turned Force captain, could come up with a better and more successful plan than Hordak's right hand, Shadow Weaver, what is the point of Shadow Weaver? Like, I mean, I get that she's a very powerful sorceress, and that's true. But it's like, her plans have just kept failing. And, I mean, at first you could maybe blame Catra. Maybe. But, in the end, Shadow Weaver started acting on her own, and she still failed. And it's just like, I'm not saying that she can't be completely taken seriously as a villain or anything. I'm not saying she's like a terribly made villain. It's more along the lines of, it's like, she's complaining about Catra not doing well, and Catra's the one who does succeed when she's allowed to make the plan. So it's like, really? I just find that fascinating. It was good to see some returning princesses, such as Entrapta and Perfuma. I've just been really loving these characters, so it was great to see them again. Mermista's always a pleasure, and then of course our favorite sea captain has had to show up. He just, and the fact that he and Mermista were there together, even though she was trying to refute it, it's like, I think she kind of has a thing for him, and I could ship it. I could ship it. I just love that part where he's just like roaming around. And it's like adventure. Oh, hi, Bo. Just the timing on that, and the actual voice acting from whoever voices him was so well done. I don't even know if it was intentionally that well done, but that was so damn good. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed these episodes. I think these were very strong episodes. And I can't wait to see what goes on next. Now, we know Glimmer and Bo are kidnapped, and I would assume Adora is going to go after them. Now, will Frosta help? That's the question. Frosta, Entrapta, Perfuma, are they all going to help? Also, all of their names end with Perfuma, Entrapta, Frosta, Mermista, every single one except Glimmer. Even if you count Adora, all of them except Glimmer. Maybe that's why Glimmer stands out as my favorite character. I don't know. It's a joke, by the way. It's a joke, but I just find that funny. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I can't wait to see how the rescue goes. I wonder if we're going to see Angela, I want to say, Queen Angela? I think that's her name. I wonder if we're going to see her and see her reaction to Glimmer being kidnapped. Because, yeah, that wouldn't go over well, and Adora probably would not be her favorite person at that moment. But yeah, there's only, with this, there's like, what, 4 or 5 episodes left? So yeah, we're nearing the end of this. So I believe there's a second season that is already greenlit. I'm excited to see how this season ends and where the next one goes. In the meantime, though, tell me what you thought of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, episodes 7 and 8. Tell me your thoughts on the Princess Prom and everything else. And in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing, living